What you're about to see is far, far too long. I've split it up so it's slightly less fail on the uploading, but it's utterly fail on keeping it within reasonable YouTube guidelines. But equally, I have to say this, and cutting it up in any other way would have made it more fail. It would have been completely misconstruable and just generally just not what I really wanted it to be. So here goes. Hello YouTube. You may have noticed, had you ever seen me previously, that I look slightly different today, and there are reasons, and there are also pointings that I can do to show you what's going on. In this section of my face you may have noticed that there is more hair. In this section of my face you may have noticed that there are no glasses. If we put those two together you'll notice that I have a face, but also that I'm doing something slightly different today, because I plan on talking about something in a rather talky way, and I thought you need something to look at other than my beautiful face. So I'm going to take a page out of Vlogbrothers' book and shave while talking to you. So I spoke to a guy yesterday who decided to never ever ever come out. He'd made the decision that he's going to live out the rest of his days denying his sexuality, and it made me realise that while I know I've had it easy as far as coming out goes, I don't think I've actually formally come out to anyone ever. Most of the time it's been either found out and I've gone, yeah, you're right. And so I thought, formally come out on the internet and generally tell my story, and you never know, it might be helpful to someone else, because I've got to be somewhat helpful to someone. So somewhat arrogantly I'm going to do that. When I was at school I came out to my friends as bisexual, my close friends. Over a slow and steady period of time I slowly came out to my close friends, and then I snogged one of them and used that as a bit of a Trojan horse to come out to the rest of everyone. Now I insisted for many years that I was bisexual, I did, and admittedly I did snog a lot of girls and had a bit of a thing for a couple of them, but ultimately my heart wasn't in it. I've always liked more guys than I have girls, and when it came to the time when I was going to go to university I just thought, you know what, it's going to be a lot simpler to say to people I'm gay, and let's face it, a lot truer, and as such since then I've considered myself gay. Now there we go. As far as coming out to my family goes, again, I didn't do that very directly. My friend Tom told my sister. He said, oh, Dave's bi, and she was like, are you really? I was like, yes I am. Begrudgingly, because she's my younger sister and she was a bit precocious, aren't they all? Once my sister found out, she then Trojan horsed that to my mother. That night she was sat there with a dictionary looking up bisexual and getting rather a lot of attention doing it as well. My mum was asking her, oh, why are you looking that up, and she was like, oh nothing, and eventually I took the initiative and said, and she went, why are you looking that up, and I said to her, well, because I am. Rather nervously, as you do when you're like, how old was I? I don't know, 14, 15? And yeah, well, I wasn't sure how she'd take it. Well, I knew my mum was cool, like, but yeah, she took it remarkably well. Bit of a hesitation, but mostly she was like, oh, okay, cool. Whichever one, if you do pick one, great. If you don't pick one, that's also great. Now, whichever it is, we still love you. Of course we love you. If you don't mention this to Dad, that's cool. Maybe don't tell Dad at the moment, that's fine. Cool, thank you very much for being supportive. Love you very much. Job done. Turns out, she must have told my dad. It wasn't until a few years later, but went to visit my nan in hospital. Nothing major. Kind of routine. Something to do with a hip, I think. Anyway, she kept going on about, oh, have you got a girlfriend yet? Have you got a girlfriend yet? Oh, shut up. So I didn't actually say fucking shut up to my nan, because that would be really quite rude. But, yeah. And then we were coming out. When we were just going to the car, my mum said, like, oh, if only she knew, like, but like, when my dad was there, not like just as a random little aside, like, my dad was fully there, and he clearly knew. He clearly knew. And so, yeah, they just knew. Not from their intuition, but from just finding out. So I never really had to come out then. At all. Weird, eh?